What's up, YouTube? My name is Taylor McDaniel, and boy, do I have a video for you. This is one of the first videos I'm honestly ever recording for YouTube, so please forgive me if I'm not good at this. But I did want to share my experience with getting these AirPod Pros because I don't want it to happen to anybody else. So as you can clearly see, this video is about fake AirPod Pros versus real AirPod Pros. So first I want to get into why I bought these fake AirPod Pros in the first place. I've been wanting AirPod Pros for a minute now. I just couldn't afford it because the reason I couldn't afford it is why I ended up with fake AirPod Pros. So what happened was, literally today, I met up with a woman on OfferUp in my local area. And before I even met her, I contacted like almost 30 other sellers to see what was the best option of AirPod Pros to buy. I contacted sellers about the AirPod Pro, not the AirPod Pros, but the AirPod Generation 2s and the Pros, because I couldn't decide which ones I wanted. I didn't know if the noise cancellation was worth getting, or if I should have just stuck with the AirPod Generation 2s. But I decided that I wanted the AirPod Pros because I wanted that noise cancellation feature. And also I kind of just wanted to be like updated with Apple's products. So I went on OfferUp and I contacted sellers. Some of the sellers, they were selling them at high prices, some of them lower prices. The highest AirPod Pro that I saw on OfferUp was about $180. And I thought that was kind of high, which now I understand why it was so high. But the lowest AirPod Pro I saw was $80. But I decided to go for one that I saw for $125, and I talked with the lady to see if she could do $115, because someone else was offering me $115, but they were too far away, so I don't want to drive all that way. So she gave me a good deal for $115, and I stuck with it. Now, I also did my research. I was clicking on pictures and trying to see like who was posting this picture multiple times so that I knew it was fake. Some of the pictures had them holding like multiple AirPod Pros or AirPod Generation 2s in their hand. So I was just like, yeah, I know that's fake because nobody really has that many AirPod Pros or 2s. So the lady that I clicked on, she had one AirPod Pro on the counter of her kitchen or whatever, and I could see the front of the AirPod Pro and the side. And so with that information, I went onto YouTube and I YouTubed AirPod Pros versus AirPod Pro fakes. I'm sorry. So I thought that I was Sherlock Holmes and that I solved the puzzle, thinking that, okay, so everything added up. What I could compare and contrast from the picture on her OfferUp versus YouTube, everything seemed to line up. So I know that she's not going to give me fake AirPod Pros. So I was happy, like, yes, I'm getting these AirPod Pros for $115. And I messaged her like, yes, I'm ready to come pick these up. So let me fast forward back just to give y'all some insight on how OfferUp works. Not really how OfferUp works, but a red flag when using OfferUp. So, one, if the picture has multiple AirPods or multiple of whatever they're trying to sell you, it honestly is going to be fraud or fake. because like I said, nobody is going to be selling that much quantity of one item, especially if it's expensive in retail life. The AirPods are like $249 and under, or $300 and under. So nobody's gonna have that many AirPods that they're selling unless they're rich or something. Another red flag that I noticed with OfferUp is the communication. With everybody who I've texted about the AirPod Pros or Generation 2s, at first they would respond to me quick, but as soon as I responded back right as quick as they did, they would not reply until like hours later or the next day. Like, it didn't make sense to me, because how can I respond back to you right after you respond to me, but you don't respond to me as quick as I responded to you, if that makes sense? So I thought that was sketchy. Red flag number 3, the prices. Someone tried to sell me AirPod Pros, $200 for 2 AirPod Pros. That seemed like a good deal for me because I wanted to get one for my boyfriend, but I wasn't trying to spend that much money. But now that I think about it, there is no way that someone is going to sell you real AirPod Pros for that price for 2, or $100 for 1, when in retail they're about $249, like I said. That being said, if it's eBay, OfferUp, Craigslist, any type of selling website or app, either do your research hardcore or just don't get it at all and save your money to save up for the real thing at Target, Best Buy, Electronic Express, or some electronic store that's well known, Apple, something like that. Because it's better that you do that than to waste your money on something fake. Because who wants if you're going on an app, is when you look up AirPod Pros or AirPod Generation 2s or 1s, you're not looking up fake AirPod Pros or fake AirPod Generation 2s or whatever kind of name the fake ones have. You're looking up Apple AirPod Pros. Now, if you want the fake ones, that's cool. And kudos to you. You got you some fake AirPods, Apple AirPods. Great. But you're looking up these AirPods because you're looking for the real thing and you're expecting the real thing. So I'm not going to be satisfied if they're fake. You're spending your money, or I'm spending my money, because I want the real thing. I wasn't expecting something fake. But it is my fault for getting it from some random person who I just met, who's probably just out here trying to hustle. So I can't be mad at anyone but myself, but my lesson is learned. So we're going to get into the differences of these AirPod Pros. The number one difference that I noticed with these AirPod Pros is the front of the package. Now, I already took off the plastic wrapping of the package, so just excuse that. But on the side of the package, there is a peel off sticker. Now, the one that I bought from the lady today that are fake, it had the sticker on it and everything. But and mind you, I was checking the packaging and the inside when she had gave it to me. I met her at a gas station and I went outside to check it out to make sure that it was real, because I knew that there was a possibility that they wouldn't be real. So first of all, there is a sticker on the side of the AirPod Pro packaging that you just peel off. So I was at the gas station and I peeled it off. The wrapper didn't come off at all. When you peel off the packaging, the whole packaging should come off when you peel it. Mine's didn't. When I peeled it off, the packaging was still wrapped around it, and I had to literally use my fingernails to get it off. And actually, it didn't work. So she had to take it back to her car to do it herself because the packaging didn't come off when I peeled it. So that's the number one difference. Not the number one, but that's one of the differences that I noticed that made me realize that this is fake. Number two, the fake AirPod casing is more chalky. I feel like it's thicker. It's definitely thicker, and it's not clean like the other packaging is. And also the outside wrapping was not clean on the fake one. It wasn't smooth. It was like scrunched up. That's the only thing I can really think of. On the fake AirPod casing, the AirPods on the front look 2D. The AirPods on the real casing look 3D, and you can visually see it clear. I don't know if you can tell through the pictures, but that's what I'm noticing. And also, the speakers look darker on the real packaging than the fake packaging. So now that we are looking at the front labels, sorry if I'm not educated enough to use the correct vocabulary, but we are looking at the front labels, and the difference that I noticed, honestly, they look the same. I'm not even gonna lie. The only difference I can see is on the labels. It says designed by Apple in California, assembled in China on the fake packaging, and on the real packaging it says designed by Apple in California, made in Vietnam. Now, I watched like 50 YouTube videos when I got my fake AirPod Pros on the differences, what to look for. And one of the YouTubers said that the real packaging will say made in Vietnam. But then some of the other videos said that if it says made in China, you could still possibly have real AirPod Pros. But the real ones that I just got today say made in Vietnam. So that's like another difference that I noticed that you can go off of. Another difference I noticed is the logo on the fake one is thin. It's not as detailed and pigmented and professional as the one on the real casing. Also, on my fake one, the letters are very, like, I want to say sparse. You can't really see the letters because they're kind of faded. Like the printer didn't finish printing the letters. But on the real one, everything seems more put together, written. It just seems like it's more there. It just looks more professional than this one. But other than that, you cannot really tell the fake from the real, honestly. But maybe I'm just naive. Moving on to the back of the AirPod Pro case. Right from the jump, I can see that on the real AirPod Pro, it looks grayer, or it just looks grayer. It looks dim, and from the fake AirPod Pros, the case is more white. Also, on the real packaging of the AirPod Pro, the LED lighting is lighter, and on the AirPod Pro fake case it's darker. So what I can see is that the AirPod Pro real casing is dimmer. It's like a off-white or a neutral yellow-white type of color, and the fake case is just white. And also on the real AirPod Pro case, the letters that say AirPods Pro are darker or more bold, I want to say, than the AirPod Pro fake case. Another difference is down here in the right corner, it says USA 2019 Apple Incorporated on the real AirPod Pros. And on the fake AirPod Pros, it says USA 2021, Apple Incorporated. So that's the difference with that. Opening up the packaging of the AirPod Pros, inside you have the manual. And you can already tell the difference between the real and the fake AirPod Pros. First of all, the manual on the real AirPod Pros, the corners are curved. On the fake ones, the corners are more squared. On the real AirPod Pros, everything is more pigmented. It's more saturated. And on the fake ones, it's more light. Like I said, like it just came out of the printer and it didn't have enough ink in it to like produce the color. So that's what I noticed with the manual. And also, like someone said before, on the fake ones, on the early fake ones, it'll say plus AirPod. It'll say plus iOS. And on the real ones, it will say plus AirPod Pro. So that's something that you can look out for. A major difference that I noticed is how on the AirPod Pro, the real ones, the colors are more like a neutral yellow white. If you have fake ones, they will be super white. So let's jump into the inside of the packaging. So right when I pull out the packaging of the real AirPod Pros, what I noticed was the charger. On the charger of the real AirPod Pros, there is this flimsy flap that will tell you that your AirPod Pros are real. On the fake ones, the flap is taped together real tight. That will tell you that your AirPod Pros are fake. So don't be like me and think, oh, maybe they just taped mine's tighter than the other real ones. No, your AirPod Pros are fake if it's taped together like this. On your AirPod Pro earpieces, when you open it up, you'll have the earpieces. But on the fake ones, it won't have the left or right symbols or letters. So you won't be able to know which one is the left or right. But when you open up the real ones, it'll say in letters left or right on the earpiece. Also on the real AirPod Pros, it's more pigmented like I said before. And on the fake ones, it'll be less pigmented. Just like everything with the fake AirPod Pros is faded. So look out for that. Okay, getting into the actual AirPod case and the earphones itself. On the back, in small letters, it's so hard to tell the difference, except on the back of the fake AirPod Pros, it'll say designed by Apple in California, assembled in China. On the real AirPod Pros, it will say designed by Apple in California, assembled in Vietnam. So big difference between the fake AirPod Pros and the real is the real ones are made in Vietnam. The fake ones are made in China. However, some people say that their real ones say that they're made in China, but I would go with my gut and go for the ones that say made in Vietnam. But also following the rest of the red flags that I've mentioned, don't just go off of this simple fact. One more thing that I noticed about the casing is that the casing for the AirPod Pros, the real ones, it's very more detailed. You can see the edges of the opening are darker. It looks steel, it looks professional, and it looks cleaner, more shine. It looks less yellow. Turning both AirPod Pros to the front, immediately what I noticed from the fake ones is that the LED light is darker than the real one. In the real one, it's more faded. It's like it's not 3D as the fake one is to the real one. Like someone said before, the LED light looks like it's blended into the material rather than the fake one. It looks like it's a much deeper depth, if that makes sense. And with the real one, The case opening is much more detailed. You can clearly see the line in it. With the fake one, you cannot see the line that distinguishes the opening from the actual case. Also, the inside of the AirPod Pro case, the fake one, it says everything seems to match up, even if the serial number matches with the case, with the AirPod Pro earphone, with the outside packaging. Even if all the serial numbers seem to match up, it could still be fake. Do not be fooled. Inside of the AirPod Pro actual casing, in the right side of the earphone, you see model FC model A2190, right? It shouldn't say that. On the inside of the real AirPod Pro case, it will say input or output. Do not be fooled. There is no way around it that your AirPods are fake if it says model A2190 or any type of thing that doesn't say input or output. It must say that. Okay, let's get right into the actual differences of the headphones. So the major difference I can really see between the two is how the material is just more professional with the AirPod Pros, the real ones. And with the fake ones, they seem lighter. So actually, there's just, without looking at YouTube videos or without knowing any information, you would not be able to tell any type of difference with these earphones. They look very, very similar. One of the differences I can say is that with the real one, the black pieces on the outside look much more darker. The small black piece right under the long black piece is smaller on the real AirPods. It's not too small, but it's very noticeable in my opinion. Also, once again, your AirPods should say made in Vietnam under the actual AirPod. These two look very identical with how faded it is. It isn't that dark as it is in other YouTube videos that I've watched. So I couldn't really tell the difference when I was watching. However, the major difference that you can tell is that the fake ones will say assembled in China and the real ones will say assembled in Vietnam. Other than that, the two AirPods both have the white ends. And with the fake AirPod Pros, the inside of the actual earphone is darker than the AirPod Pro, the real ones. With the real ones, the inside is lighter. The speaker is lighter. That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm not going to test these right now because I don't feel like it. So you can probably look up one of the YouTubers that I watched to see what the noise canceling feature does. When I use these fake AirPod Pros, the cancellation feature did not work, and I really tried to convince myself that it was working, but I could still hear the outside noises, everything around me, so I figured it just wasn't working for me. Those are all the major differences I noticed between my real AirPod Pros and my fake AirPod Pros. Boy, that is tricky to say. Leave a comment, leave a like down below, and let me know if you came into the same situation, if you've been bamboozled. Let me know what differences that you've noticed and share so nobody else will have to go through what I've gone through, because I've spent over $300 buying AirPod Pro fakes and AirPod Pro reals. I've learned my lesson. I will forever go to Best Buy, Apple, or do my research more hardcore before I buy any other type of electronic from someone on the web. But that is it. I hope you all have enjoyed my video and could take something from it. And good luck. Bye.